Over the past 6 years, I've read nearly every productivity and time management research study available, and these are the 9 easy habits I use every day that allowed me to work on Wall Street, build a YouTube channel, and run several media companies while traveling, staying healthy, and keeping up with succession. The first habit is the gray. So by now, we all know to put our phones on Do Not Disturb mode when we work. But I discovered an even better way that literally makes me not want to use my phone at all. Seriously, I have ADHD and this works without fail. So obviously, the benefits of turning on Do Not Disturb mode allows you to consciously engage with your phone on your own terms. But it's only really useful if you have the initial willpower to not actively check your phone in the first place. And that's where the problem is. Once you start scrolling, you keep on going and going and going. And here's where the gray comes in. So I set up my phone in a way that when I have Do Not Disturb mode on, I can easily turn everything from pictures to text to videos into black and white. And this surprisingly makes my phone less enjoyable to use because I don't get the dopamine rush from all the pretty colors and animation, so I don't have the urge to even use my phone anymore. To set up the gray on your iPhone, and I'll show you Android later, open the Settings app, then tap Accessibility. Under the Vision header, tap Display and Text Size. Find the Color Filters option, tap the toggle to turn it on, and select Grayscale. Then go to Accessibility, click on Accessibility Shortcut option, and select Color Filters. After that, just triple click the power button to go back and forth. If you have an Android phone, here are the steps. So the next habit is the 30-second rule, and it's embarrassing to admit, but I've struggled with this one same New Year's resolution for years because I'm lazy. And no shame in that, it's human nature. But here's how I turned my laziness to my advantage to finally read more books. And you can apply this 30-second rule to anything. So I noticed that whenever I wanted to read, I had to go to my closet, look for the book, grab it, and go back to my office, and only then could I actually start reading. Now, this all roughly takes 30 seconds, and even though this is minimal effort required, it was enough to stop me from reading because watching Netflix on my iPad only took 5 seconds. Now, the 30-second rule is about creating a frictionless path towards your goals. So I decided to move the books out of the closet, put it on the table next to my couch, and instead moved my iPad into the closet. Now, whenever I want to read, the book's already there, subconsciously nudging me in the right direction from the start, so I can rely less on my willpower. And if you only have 5 minutes a week to read, sign up for my free weekly newsletter that teaches you how to build a wealthier and healthier life. Link below. So for the next habit to make sense, I gotta ask, did you ever notice that you tend to procrastinate on the most difficult stuff? Like you know you have to do that thing, but you decide to push it to the back of your mind for later, even though it's constantly gnawing at you and distracting you throughout the day. Well, the trick is to ask yourself this one simple question, and your response can't be never. The question is, if you had to eat a frog every day, when would you do it? Now, objectively speaking, the best time to eat a frog is first thing in the morning, so that you can enjoy the rest of your day, knowing that the most challenging part is behind you. So the eat the frog rule is to figure out what the most difficult task of the day is and do it first thing in the morning. And after you're done, you'll be high off your dopamine rush, feel more accomplished, making everything else you work on seem super easy. So the next habit is don't be Nathan. And this helps me focus and enter deep flow state about 2 times faster. So in college, my friends and I would go on these road trips whenever we had a long weekend. And every single time, after 31 minutes of driving, without fail, Nathan, and sorry for calling you out, dude, would ask to use the bathroom. And we'll pull over and delay our trip for God knows how long, every couple of half an hour. So whenever you plan to work for a couple of hours straight, don't be Nathan. Prepare to start like you're going on a long road trip. Make sure you've done everything you need, like use the toilet, you ate some food, you stretched. So once you're at your desk, you can actually power through and enter deep flow state without any distraction. The next habit is why you should slack off and watch TV. So the average American spends about 3 hours watching TV every single day, which isn't a problem unless you don't understand your time count. Literally the day after I discovered my time count, it was so much easier to refocus whenever I got distracted because I didn't want to use it for unnecessary things. So to find your time count, we need to look at how much you make in a year. So let's say you make $75,000, right? You work 40 hours a week and there are 52 weeks in a year. So you work about 2,080 hours a year. If we divide 75,000 by 2,080, then you make about $36 an hour without tax. So that $36 an hour is your time count. count. Now, I want you to think of your time count as how much an hour of your time is worth at every moment. So the next time you sit down to watch Game of Thrones or play Call of Duty for an hour, I want you to ask yourself, are you okay with giving up $36? Or put it another way, are you okay with paying someone $36 so you can watch TV or play games for an hour? If you had a long, stressful day and you're okay with it, then enjoy yourself. You deserve it. But typically, knowing your time count puts the cost of slacking off into perspective and allows you to second-guess moments when you feel unnecessarily lazy for no reason. The next habit is to build a digital protocol that'll help you save time and stay productive. For me, my life runs on a few tools that I've integrated into my everyday schedule. To wake up in the morning, I use Sleep Cycle to automatically wake me up when I'm outside of my REM sleep so I don't wake up feeling groggy. The less groggy I feel, the easier and quicker it is for me to start the day. I then go to the gym, and in between workouts, I'll check out my Google Calendar where I time block my schedule the previous night, and also check out TickTick to review all my lower level tasks that I need to do in the day. After showering, coffee, and a protein shake, I'll open up Notion where I can get an overview of the progress of my projects, businesses, and my teams so I can see what's moving and what I need to put more focus on. Everything on Notion is integrated with my Google Drive where I store my files and documents so I can seamlessly one click, open it, and then work on them directly. Throughout the day, I'll reference my calendar, TickTick, and Notion to make sure that I'm on schedule. If I am, I'll occasionally take breaks and scroll through news articles and Twitter for inspiration and also to learn new things. And if I find something that piques my interest and I really want to read it, but I don't want to be distracted just right now, I'll add it to my Matter app and tag it so I can easily refer to it later when I'm outside of my time block schedule. Here's a list of some of the tools I use that's part of my digital protocol. Okay, so the next habit is instant upload, and it's life-changing if you've ever experienced this. So you're in the middle of a task, and all of a sudden you remember that there's something else that needs to be done. You start worrying about it because you don't want to forget it, and then you feel like you need to drop everything you're doing so you can do it now. That entire experience disrupts your workflow and wastes time. And it's a pain because getting back on track to your original task can be tough. So the habit is to instant upload that thought and transfer it outside of your mind. You should always have a running document where you can easily store key thoughts and ideas. If you're old school, grab a physical notebook and write it down. Or what I'll do is I'll one-click shortcut to get to my to-do page and quickly jot it down and then get back to my original task. Then when I have free time later, I'll open up the app and then handle it then. The next habit is called partial, and if you're somewhat like a perfectionist like me, I'm sure you've felt this before. This feeling that always makes you think that now is not the right moment to start or do something. It's a calming feeling. It makes you tell yourself that you just have to wait a little bit longer. Like, I should start tomorrow. It's not ready yet. I'm tired right now and I'm not in the mood. Except if you noticed, the perfect time never comes. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Most likely, you'll feel the same way as you did yesterday and the day before. But the partial habit challenges the notion that a perfect moment will ever come, or that's even worth the actual additional effort. Look, you need to understand that good enough is good enough. The marginal improvements beyond good enough are rarely worth the extra time required. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn and PayPal, once said, "If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late." So the next time that you feel like you need to wait for the perfect time, the perfect moment, or that you want the work to be perfect before sharing it, ask yourself, is it 88% there? If yes, then execute. Trust me, I know that it can be scary to put yourself out there before you're ready. But if you want any real success in life, you need to get used to facing this fear and uncertainty. And understand there is never a perfect time. There is only a time, and the later you start, the less time you'll have. Now, my absolute favorite habit that transformed my work in life is this. We all have a billion things to do and a limited amount of time to do them. But if you don't stop and take care of yourself, you will burn out and be of no use to anyone, least of all yourself. And I'm not talking about eating healthy or exercising. I'm talking about taking some time for you, just you. And I get it, sometimes taking time to relax feels bad because you don't feel like you're being productive and you're wasting valuable time. But the secret is to schedule time in your calendar specifically for self-care. One thing that has worked for me is having a few standing appointments with myself during the week, even if it's just 30 minutes. And since these chill self-care times are pre-planned, I don't feel bad for taking them. These appointments are non-negotiable, and I plan the rest of my week around them. And sure, sometimes I need to move my schedule around, but I always make sure to revisit them during the week. So one of the biggest mistakes I ever made was not taking care of my physical, mental, and emotional health. I remember so many times when I just burned out. My brain just felt fried, but I just kept pushing myself to keep going because I thought I was being productive when in fact, everything that I produced during that time was complete crap. I felt mindless, like an empty husk of a body, just forcing myself through the desert of life in search of water, and praying and hoping that I would find it soon, but it never came. And I've noticed that after I started prioritizing myself, I became happier, sharper, and much more productive than ever before. But I was only able to do that after I figured out how to trick my brain to genuinely enjoy doing hard things like studying, working out, and building out a side hustle. Find out exactly how I did it with this video. And trust me, it'll change your life.